didn't plan the evening or tune the room for anything. The piano bench was cold, the window open just enough to let the night in. I played a note I didn't recognize. You smiled like you heard it too, not correcting the rhythm, just letting it move the way it chose to. I've spent years learning patterns, where to land, where to resolve, but my hands forgot the rules the moment the quiet got involved. This was a melody we never practiced, no counting, no design. It wandered through wrong turns and somehow still arrived on time. I didn't know where it was going, you didn't ask it to behave. We just stayed with what was happening, a melody we never practiced and never needed to save. You leaned closer without touching, like you didn't want to interrupt. Your breath changed the timing in a way I didn't adjust. I missed a chord, let it hang there. You didn't flinch or look away. That's when I knew this wasn't about getting it right, it was about staying. I've chased perfect before, applause, precision, control, but nothing has ever felt this honest as letting the moment take hold. This was a melody we never practiced, no map to follow through. We found its shape in the listening, in the way the room held you. Every pause felt intentional, every note allowed to be. Not something we were proving, just something happening naturally. I thought music needed intention, a reason to begin. But sometimes it just arrives when you stop asking it to win. Sometimes it's written in presence and staying when it feels unsure, and trusting the sound will find itself if you don't rush the door. I played softer as the night went on, not ending it, not stretching it out. You rested your hand near the keys like you trusted where this was headed without a route. This was a melody we never practiced, still echoing inside, not tied to the piano or the hour we let slide. If I never play it the same again, I won't try to repeat. Some songs exist for one moment only, and that's what makes them complete. When we finally stood in the doorway, the night felt slower somehow. The piano quiet behind us, but something stayed between us now. Not a promise, not a plan, just a knowing calm and deep that love doesn't always arrive rehearsed. Sometimes it finds you when you're listening and lets you play what you didn't know you were ready to keep. The chair across the room stayed empty, but it didn't feel that way. The piano held a warmth like you just stepped away. I played the notes we never finished, let them fall without repair. Every sound seemed to remember a body that once listened there. I thought the quiet would feel larger once I was alone again. But absence has its own texture when something real has been. There's a warm sound in an empty chair, still leaning toward the keys, like the room hasn't accepted yet that it's just me. No echo asking for an answer, no silence turning cold, just a presence shaped like listening that never really goes. Your cup still by the window, ring left on the wood, small details holding the outline of something understood. I didn't save your voice and memory, I saved the way you stayed. How the space around me softened when nothing needed to be said. I used to think goodbye was loud, that leaving made a mark, but this felt more like settling dust at the edge of dark. There's a warm sound in an empty chair, in the way the notes arrive, not calling you back to me, just proving we were alive. I don't reach for what isn't here, I don't wish the moment through. I let the music sit beside me like it used to sit with you. I play softer than I planned to, like I don't wanna disturb what's still resting in the room, unspoken, undeterred. This isn't grief or longing, it isn't trying to pretend. It's the quiet recognition of something real that didn't end. Some love doesn't leave a photograph or a sentence you can share. It leaves a way the air responds when no one's there. There's a warm sound in an empty chair, and I don't feel alone. It's not hope, it's not regret, just a tone that reminds me what it's like to be seen without repair, to be heard without asking. I close the piano gently, let the last note be. The chair stays where it always was, listening silently. I don't turn off the lamp right away, I let the moment sit. Because some love doesn't follow you out, it stays behind as warmth, as sound, as proof in an empty chair that still remembers how to listen.
The sky changed colors without asking, blue giving way to something kind. We said we watch one song finish, then head back to our separate lives. The piano lamp stayed low and patient, like it had nowhere else to be. I noticed how the night slowed down right when you looked at me. talked in circles that didn't close, stories halfway told. Every pause felt intentional, every minute felt unknown. It was an evening that didn't end, not because we stayed awake, but because nothing asked us to mark the moment or escape. Time loosened its grip quietly, like it forgot what it was for. We weren't waiting for tomorrow, we weren't checking the door. I played something soft and unplanned. You listened with your eyes closed, not leaning in, not drifting away, just present, just composed. You breathed in time with the notes, like you trusted where they'd fall. I stopped playing before the song resolved, and somehow that said it all. I've chased endings before, needed things to feel complete, but sitting there with you, I didn't miss the release. It was an evening that didn't end, in the way the room stayed warm, in the way nothing had to change for something real to form. No last call, no good night, no moment we had to defend. We just stayed inside the quiet, an evening that didn't end. I used to think meaning needed edges, a beginning you could point to, but this felt more like recognition arriving without a cue. Like the heart knows when to stop counting, when to let go of them. When the sky finally turned pale and the city cleared its throat, we stood up slowly, almost careful, like we didn't want to break the note. You smiled like we shared a secret, not something hidden, just true. It wasn't that we stayed all night, it's that the night stayed with us too. Because it was an evening that didn't end, not held together by time, but by the way we listened and didn't rush the line. If this never happens again, I'll still know where I've been. Some moments don't fade or conclude, they don't resolve or bend, they don't end loudly, they simply remain, like an evening that didn't end.
The last candle leaned into the morning, wax tracing lines down its side. The window barely letting daylight in, like it didn't want to interrupt the night. Your sweater's still warm on the chair, piano lid half closed, out of tune. We never said we'd stay up talking, but dawn found us in the room. I played something slow and unfinished. You sat on the floor listening close, every note hanging in the air, long enough to almost dissolve. We spoke in glances, not sentences, let the hours loosen their hold. Some moments don't ask permission, they just quietly unfold. There were candles left burning at dawn, after the warning had eased, after the music stopped reaching, and learned how to breathe. No hurry to put them out, no reason reason to move on. We let the light fade naturally, candles left burning at dawn. You told me about the nights you doubt yourself, how silence can feel too loud. I told you I play to slow my thoughts when I don't know how to calm them down. The piano creaked under my fingers like it remembered this before. How truth comes out softer when you're not trying to be sure. Outside, the city was waking inside. Time felt misplaced, like the night had decided to stay in this space. There were candles left burning at dawn, pooling light on the floor. Not dramatic, not sacred, just honest and warm. We didn't make promises, didn't say what this was. We let the night finish naturally, candles left burning at dawn. I used to think love needed darkness, but daylight sharp and clear. But maybe it lives in the in-between, when both are still here. When nothing is hidden, but nothing is claimed. When what you feel doesn't rush to explain. I played one last note by accident. It lingered longer than planned. You looked up like you understood it without needing a hand. That sound stayed between us even after it was gone. There were candles left burning at dawn as the sky changed its tone. No ending, no beginning, just being alone together. Before the world asked us back, before the day put things on, I carry that quiet with me still. Candles left burning at dawn. Now every time morning finds me, before I'm ready to ride, so I think of that soft half-light and the truth in your eyes. Some nights don't ask to be remembered, but they never move on. They live in the glow that stays with you, like candles left burning at dawn.
The piano hadn't been touched all evening, dust catching the low light just right. We sat there without deciding anything, letting the room finish the night. Your hand resting near the edge of the bench, mine hovering, unsure where to land. The quiet felt wide but not empty, like it already understood us. I could hear the house settling around us, old wood learning how to breathe. Nothing asked for a melody, nothing needed to be. Our hands resting on the same silence, not reaching, not pulling away. No signal sent, no line crossed, just staying where we stayed. The space between us felt intentional, like something carefully kept. Some moments don't need to move forward to be deeply felt. I pressed one key without meaning to. It sounded softer than I planned. You didn't look at me right away, just let the note understand.
I played another, then stopped myself, let it fade where it fell. The silence returned unchanged, still saying everything well. I feel quiet before out of habit, afraid of what it might show. But this felt like permission to let nothing happen and know. Our hands resting on the same silence, learning how to stay still. No question hiding in the pause, no future we had to fulfill. It wasn't restraint or hesitation, it was trust without proof, the kind that shows up quietly when nothing is forced to move. I used to think connection meant action, some gesture that made it real. But sitting there unmoving, I felt more than I could feel. Like closeness doesn't always announce itself, sometimes it just arrives and asks you not to disturb it while it changes your life. You shifted slightly, then settled again, like you chose the moment twice. Your breath slowed, so did mine, time loosening its grip on the night. Our hands resting on the same silence, no vow spoken aloud, just the calm of being understood without making a sound. If this never becomes a story with a start or an end, I'll still know something true happened right then. When we finally stood to leave, the piano stayed quiet and closed, but the room felt altered, like it had overheard what we chose. I walked away carrying less noise than I brought with me. Some love doesn't begin with a word or a touch, it begins when two hearts learn to rest on the same silence. The piano caught the evening gently, ivory pale in the low light. I sat where the room felt balanced between the day and the night. Your chair was turned just enough, like you might lean in or not. I let my hands hover and wait for the space that hadn't been taught. I've played through noise and applause, through rooms that wanted more, but this felt different in its restraint, like the quiet had a door. These were ivory hours between heartbeats, not measured, not claimed. Time rested its weight on the keys before anything had a name. Every note waited its turn, every breath chose when to fall. We weren't rushing toward meaning, we were listening to it all. I pressed a chord and let it settle, didn't follow where it led. You closed your eyes like you trusted what the sound had already said. The rhythm wasn't in the playing, it wasn't how we stayed, in the way the silence returned unchanged. I've learned how quickly moments collapse when when you try to hold them tight. But this one widened on its own, like it knew how to survive. These were ivory hours between heartbeats, where closeness didn't demand a gesture of our promise, just the truth of where we stand. I wasn't searching for resolution or bracing for the end. I was living in the pause that comes right before. I used to think love arrived all at once, in a rush you couldn't ignore. But this felt more like recognition, opening a familiar door. Like the heart remembers before the mind what feels steady and right, and chooses to slow itself down to stay in the light. The melody thinned into quiet. I didn't try to bring it back. You shifted slightly, then stayed, like you chose the moment twice intact. These were ivory hours between heartbeats, and nothing asked us to move. No fear of losing the feeling, no need to make it prove. Just two lives breathing side by side, in time that didn't insist. Some love doesn't happen loudly, it happens like this. When the night finally leaned away and the room found its shape, I stood up carrying something calm I didn't need to explain. The piano stayed open behind us, the key still warm, still white. I walked home knowing some moments don't pass, they settle between heartbeats and quietly become your life. The piano was colder than I remembered, ivory hold in the night. I lowered my hands without thinking, didn't ask them to be right. You were sitting just off to my left, close enough to feel real, far enough to let the moment decide what it would reveal. I've struck keys with too much intention, trying to make something stay. But tonight my fingers hesitated, like they were learning a different way. Keys pressed gently, like trust, not asking to be believed. No force behind the motion, no fear of what might lead. Every note allowed its own weight, every pause left intact. I wasn't playing to impress you, I was learning how to relax. You didn't watch my hands closely, didn't lean in to see. Listen the way someone listens when they're not waiting for proof from me. Your stillness shaped the rhythm more than anything I played. I felt the song slow itself down just to keep you safe. I've mistaken volume for honesty, speed for being alive.
but this felt more like arriving than trying to survive. Keys pressed gently like trust in the space we didn't rush, where silence wasn't a problem and sound didn't need to rush. You didn't say you felt something, I didn't ask if you did, but something settled between us and quietly lived. I let a wrong note linger, didn't rush to make it clean. You smiled like you understood what imperfect can mean. I realized how rarely we're allowed to stay unfinished, how often we correct ourselves before we truly listen. This felt like choosing restraint over control, like letting the song breathe instead of shaping it whole. Keys pressed gently like trust, learning how to be held, not tightening around the moment, not asking it to explain itself. If love sounds like anything here, sounds like this, unafraid of quiet, unafraid to miss. The last note faded on its own, I didn't close the lid. You stayed where you were sitting, like you knew what that meant. We didn't talk right away, didn't need to decide. Some connections don't ask for language, they ask for time. When I finally stood up, the piano felt changed somehow. Not louder, not better, just honest about how you walked with me to the doorway. Nothing heavy to defend, I left carrying a different kind of knowing that trust isn't built by holding on, it's built by pressing gently and letting something real respond. Like keys pressed gently in the dark. Like trust. The piano lid was still half open, like it was waiting on us. I rested my hands, then didn't play. Let the quiet do what it does. You were standing near the window, night pressed softly to the glass. Nothing urgent in your posture, nothing asking me to act. The room felt suspended, like it forgot how to move. Every sound slowed its meaning, every second widened its view. We were pausing before the next breath, right where feeling begins. Not holding on, not letting go, just listening within. No rush toward a future, no step back from the truth. We stayed inside the moment, pausing before the next breath, me and you. I played a single note barely there. It rose, then learned how to fade. You didn't open your eyes right away, like you trusted what it said. You Your shoulders eased just slightly, mine followed without thought. Sometimes the body understands what the mind does not. I felt silence out of habit, afraid of what it might show. But this quiet felt intentional, like something learning to grow. We were pausing before the next breath, where nothing had to be named, where closeness didn't need motion and still felt the same. I didn't reach for your hand, you didn't need me to. Everything honest stayed present, pausing before the next breath with you. I've loved in ways that hurry, tried to anchor every sign. The love that rushes past itself leaves something behind. This felt like a truer rhythm, one that knows when to wait. Like the space between two heartbeats is where time it learns its shape. The piano stayed open, untouched, like it respected the pause. The night leaned closer to listen, without asking us for more. We were pausing before the next breath, and the world felt kind. No pressure to decide, no fear of falling behind. If this was all the moment offered, it was already enough. Some truths don't move forward, they deepen when you pause before the next breath. When we finally spoke again, our voices sounded new, not louder, just steadier, like they'd been tuned. I walked away slower than usual, carrying nothing to defend. Some love doesn't announce itself, it doesn't hurry or test. It meets you in the quiet and asks you to stay still, just long enough to notice what's there, pausing before the next breath. Was turned lower than usual, soft light leaning against the wall. Your shadow moved before you did, like it was learning how to fall. The piano bench creaked when I sat down. I didn't play right away. We were balanced on something fragile, neither of us rushing the sway. You stood close enough to feel familiar, far enough to still feel new. The quiet held its breath between us, like it didn't know what we'd do. There was soft light on the edge of us, not bright, not fading away, just enough to see what was real, without asking it to stay. No sharp lines, no clear demand, no reason to pretend. We were standing where feeling begins, soft light on the edge of us. I played a note and let it settle, didn't follow it with a plan. You closed your eyes like you trusted,
where the sound would land. I noticed how your breathing slowed, how the room began to lean. Some things don't need agreement, they just quietly convene. I've chased clarity before, wanted love to draw a line, but this felt more like listening than deciding all at once in time. There was soft light on the edge of us, where hesitation turned kind, where not knowing felt honest instead of falling behind. You didn't reach for my hand, but you didn't pull away. You let the moment stay exactly where it wanted to stay. I used to think love had to arrive with answers stacked and sure, but maybe it lives in the margins, where nothing's forced to endure, where you can't stand inside the feeling without naming what it means, where presence becomes enough without asking to be seen. The song drifted into quiet again. I didn't try to hold the sound. You looked at me like you understood why I let it fall down. Outside the night stayed patient, inside something alive. There was soft light on the edge of us when we finally stood to leave. No promise made, no future claim, just something gentle we believe. That not every connection needs a map or a reason to begin. Some love starts by noticing where you are and staying in it. I walked home under dim streetlights, still feeling that glow. Not something I could explain, just something I know. Some moments don't change your life loudly, they don't announce what they do, they just leave a quiet warmth behind, like soft light on the edge of us. Quiet on its own, like it reached a decision. The piano untouched, bench still warm from where we'd been sitting. Your coat lay over the chair, as if you'd planned to stay, but neither of us had said it out loud that way. I noticed how my breathing changed when you stopped moving around, how the air felt heavier without making a sound. Nothing dramatic happened, no cue, no sign above, just a moment standing still, carrying more than enough. This is stillness, holding the weight of love. Not fragile, not loud, not asking to be proven or spoken out. It doesn't lean forward, it doesn't pull away, it stays right where it is, and somehow says everything. I've known silence that meant absence, that hollow closing kind, but this felt full and intentional, like being seen without being defined. You didn't reach for reassurance, didn't ask me what this meant. You trusted the pause between us, and that trust is what I felt. I rested my hands on my knees, didn't reach for the keys. The music wasn't missing, it was already with me. Your presence shaped the moment more than sound ever could. I realized how rarely love feels this grounded, this good. This is stillness, holding the weight of love. No urgency inside, no fear that if we don't move, we'll lose the night. It doesn't rush to become something, it doesn't try to prove. It stays steady, breathing calmly, holding me with you. I used to think love needed motion, some sign it was alive. But maybe life is clearest when nothing needs to strive. When two people stop performing, stop reaching for control, and let the quiet do the work of touching the soul. The lamp hung low in the corner, time softened its tone. I wasn't waiting for the next moment, I was already home. You shifted slightly, then stayed, like you chose to pause again. This is stillness, holding the weight of love, and I don't feel afraid. It isn't empty or uncertain, it doesn't fade. If this is all it ever is, I won't ask for more. Some love doesn't move forward, it deepens right where it's born. Change like it knew what we carried in our hearts. I walked away lighter somehow, not because I had less to lose, but because I learned what love can be. When it doesn't rush, when it doesn't ask, when it stays still and holds the weight of love. The room was still before the sound, like it was holding its breath. My hands hovered over the keys, unsure of what came next. I played this piano 100 nights, knew where every memory sat. But something shifted in the silence before the first note landed back. I wasn't searching for a feeling, wasn't trying to be brave,
just letting the moment arrive instead of telling it where to stay. Then there was the first no you didn't expect, not loud, not asking to be heard. It fell between what I knew by heart and what I'd never learned. It didn't promise or explain, didn't rise or try to impress. It just stayed and somehow changed everything. The first note you didn't expect. My fingers follow without thinking, like they trusted something old. A melody started forming in the spaces I don't control. I thought of the way you look at me when you think I'm not aware, like you're listening for something true in the quiet we share. Every sound felt more honest without trying to be complete, like the song knew where it was going even when I didn't yet see. Then there was the first note you didn't expect, the one that softened the room, the one that made the past feel distant and the present feel full. It wasn't perfect or rehearsed, it didn't need to be, it was just real, and it stayed with me. The first no you didn't expect. I used to chase the right progression, the safest way to land. But love doesn't follow patterns, it moves when it can. Sometimes it arrives as a feeling, sometimes as a sound. Sometimes it's just one quiet moment that finally slows you down. I kept playing into the evening, letting the song find its shape, not trying to hold it together, not trying to make it stay. I realized how little it takes for a heart to open its door. Just one honest beginning that asked for nothing more. Then there was the first note you didn't expect, still echoing inside, not tied to the song or the piano, but the timing of our lives. I don't know where this melody ends or what it's leading me through. I only know something real began the moment that no found you. Now when I sit at the piano, I don't rush the start anymore. I let the silence speak first, like it knows what it's for. Because love doesn't always announce itself with something grand or correct. Sometimes it just shows up quietly as the first note you didn't expect. I'd already picked up my coat, keys resting heavy in my hand. The familiar pull of exits, the comfort of a practice plan. You were sitting by the piano, not asking me to stay, just waiting in that quiet way that never stood in my way. I've been good at disappearing before things ask too much, leaving rooms before the feeling could learn the shape of touch. I told myself it was freedom, called it knowing when to go. But standing there behind you, something slower took control. That was the moment I stopped leaving. Not because you said my name, not because the night felt different or the world suddenly changed. I just felt my feet stay planted, like they'd finally understood that not every open door is meant to be used. You played a note without looking back. It landed soft and low, the kind of sound that doesn't follow you. It asked you to stay close. I sat down before deciding, before fear could intervene. For once I didn't scan the room for who I used to be. I noticed how my shoulders dropped, how my breath came back to me. How staying didn't feel like danger, it felt like relief. You didn't turn it into meaning, didn't ask me what this was. You just let the moment hold us without asking for trust. That was the moment I stopped leaving, not out of promise or resolve, but because nothing in me needed to outrun what I felt at all. I didn't feel trapped or chosen, I didn't feel afraid. I just felt present for the first time and decided to stay. I used to think love was intensity, something sharp enough to prove. But maybe love is gentler, like knowing when not to move, like sitting in a room unfinished, letting silence have a say, like learning you don't lose yourself when you don't walk away. The song faded without an ending, neither of us reached to close the lid. You smiled like you already knew what that stillness did. I stayed longer than I ever planned, long enough to feel the truth, that leaving isn't always strength, sometimes staying is too. That was the moment I stopped leaving, and nothing fell apart. The world didn't narrow or closing, it opened quietly in my chest and heart. I didn't swear I'd never go again, or say I changed overnight. I just stayed where I was and let that be right. When I finally stood up later, the night felt different somehow. Not because I'd gone somewhere new, but because I knew how to stay when it mattered, to listen instead of flee. The moment I stopped leaving was the moment I came back to me. The clock was still doing its job, but it didn't feel like it mattered. The second hand moved out of habit, like it hadn't noticed what happened. You set your cup down a little too carefully, as if sound could break the spell. I watched the room grow quieter, without anyone telling it to. I've been early my whole life, rushing to get ahead of the feeling. But standing there beside you, nothing in me was leaving. That's when time slowed near you, not stopping, just easing its pace, like it finally understood. This wasn't a moment to race. Every thought softened its grip, every worry loosened its hold. I didn't fall or get lost, I just felt the weight. Time slowed near you. I played a chord I hadn't practiced. It landed softer than planned. You didn't look surprised, you just nodded, like you understand. Your breath matched the space between notes. The room leaned into the sound. It felt like the present moment had decided to stick around. I've known intensity before, the kind that burns and leaves, but this felt like a deeper current, something steady underneath. That's when time slowed near you, in the pause before you spoke, in the way silence stayed intact. Instead of feeling broke, I wasn't waiting for more, wasn't bracing for less. I was exactly where I was and it felt like rest. I used to think love needed momentum, a reason, a plan, a spark. But maybe it just needs permission to arrive without being sharp, to let two lives breathe side by side without pulling them tight, to let closeness happen naturally in the right light. The song ended before I noticed, no clean resolve or sign. You smiled like the ending didn't matter, like we were already past time. Because time slowed near you and hasn't fully sped back up. Even now walking home alone, I still feel that hush. Not something I can explain or try to recreate, just the memory of a moment that taught my heart how to wait. If this turns into something lasting, or quietly stays what it was, I won't measure it by outcome or what it becomes. I remember how it felt to stand there with nothing to defend, and feel the world soften its edges for a moment. Because I know now what it means when something real comes through. You don't chase it, you don't force it, you notice the way time slows near you.
The piano's been here longer than us. It knows how people come and go. It's heard hands shake with certainty, and hands that didn't know. Tonight it waited, lid half open, like it recognized the sound of two people standing quietly before anything is found. You sat where others have sat before, but not the way you did. You listened like you weren't measuring what the music might admit. I touched the keys and felt them answer, not brighter, just aware, like they understood the difference of you being there. The piano knows about us before we ever speak. It hears the waiting pauses, the way we almost reach. It knows when notes are chosen and when they simply appear. Some truths don't need language, they settle in the ear. I played a chord I didn't plan on, let it stay a little wrong. You didn't shift or look away, you let it belong. That's when I felt something loosen, something I usually guard. The piano didn't correct me, it just held the part that was hard. I've played to fill empty rooms, to prove I could be heard, but this felt like playing alongside something quieter than words. Like the sound was only part of it, like the rest was how we stayed. The piano knows about us in the way the song slows down, and how silence feels intentional when nothing fills it now. It knows when music isn't performance but presence, learning how to be. It knows I'm not playing for you, I'm playing with you, listening to me. I used to think songs needed endings, a place to finally land, but this one kept breathing like it wasn't meant to understand. I let the last note fade on its own, didn't reach to close the lid. You stayed seated, still listening, like you knew what that meant. If this becomes something louder or never leaves this room, the piano will remember the way it made us slow our bloom. Not as a story, not as proof, just a moment held gently. The piano knows about us because it doesn't rush the truth. It listens the way you listen, without asking for use. It knows when hands press carefully and when they're finally free. When we stood up to leave, nothing followed us out, just a warmth behind the keys. Like a witness without a shout, I walked away with quieter thoughts, and something settled inside. Some love doesn't need to be named or played the same twice. Some love lives in the knowing of a room, of a sound, of an instrument that hurt us and keeps what the piano knows about us.
The door closed softer than it should have, like the room already knew. We didn't look for places to sit. We just stood where we landed, you and me. The lamp hung low in the corner, piano waiting untouched. Even the air felt careful, like it didn't want to interrupt us. You said my name without thinking. I heard it differently then, not louder, just settled, like it belonged in the room. That was when the room learned our names, not from sound but from staying, from the way our voices slowed down, from the space we weren't escaping. Walls don't listen the way people do, but something in here understood the moment we stopped performing and stood the way we stood. I sat at the piano eventually, didn't open it all the way, played a chord I hadn't planned, let it fall where it may. You didn't move closer, didn't pull away, just stayed where you were, like that was the point. I filled rooms before with noise, where laughter meant to impress, but this felt like permission to bring nothing but myself. That was when the room learned our names, in the pauses we didn't rush, in the quiet between each breath, where nothing needed to be much. No promise hiding in the corners, no future written on the wall, just two people being fully present. And somehow that was enough. The piano creaked when I shifted, like it noticed too. Your reflection in the darkened glass looked more real than true. You watched my hands, not my face, like you trusted what they'd say. I missed a note and let it fade. You didn't turn away. I realized then how rarely we let moments stay unfinished, how quickly we name things before we let them exist. That was when the room learned our names, not to keep, not to claim, just to hold for a while, without asking us to explain. Some connections don't arrive loudly, they don't ask to be seen, they just change the shape of a space, quietly. When it was time to leave, nothing dramatic stayed behind, just a warmth where we had been, like a memory forming in real time. The piano lid stayed half open, the lamp still low and kind. I walked out carrying less noise than I walked in with, and I knew something had shifted, not in us exactly, but around us. Some rooms forget you as soon as you leave, others keep your echo the same. That one remember, because for a moment it learned our names.
bench was worn where hands had rested long before either of us came. I placed my fingers carefully, like the keys could hear my name. You sat beside me, not too close, not far enough to disappear. The room felt ready for something, but patient enough to wait here. I've played songs out of habit, let muscle memory decide. But tonight the quiet asked for intention, and I listened before I tried. This was where every note felt chosen, not perfect, not rehearsed. Each sound arriving honestly before it left. No rush toward resolution, no fear of getting it wrong. Every pause had meaning, every silence belonged. I pressed a chord and felt it answer, not brighter, just alive. You nodded slightly like you heard the thought behind the sound. I tried, I skipped a note, let it remain. You didn't tense or turn away. That's when I knew this wasn't about how well I played. I'm mistaken speed for confidence, volume for being true. But this felt like presence, learning how to move through you. This was where every note felt chosen, because staying mattered more than shine. Because nothing was filling space, just sharing time. I wasn't proving what I felt or trying to impress. I was listening to what was forming and letting that be enough. The melody moved slowly, as if it respected us. You leaned back, eyes closed, trusting where the sound would rest. I noticed how my breathing matched the space between each key, like my body finally believed I didn't need to hurry me. I used to chase a clean ending, a place to neatly land. But love doesn't always resolve itself, it just learns how to stand. This was where every note felt chosen, and none were wasted or lost. Even the ones that faded early still carried a cost. Not in regret, not in doubt, but in how deeply they stayed. Some things matter because they're carefully made. When the last note disappeared, I didn't rush to close the lid. You stayed seated still, listening like you understood what it did. The room felt fuller than before, though nothing new was said. I walked away carrying something steady, not a song I could repeat, but the knowledge that real closeness sounds like this, when you let yourself mean it. Because love doesn't always announce itself with something loud or brave. Sometimes it shows up quietly and asks you to choose. Every note, every